Welcome to the Thunder Road Show. Hey, you're supposed to have your phone off.
Through my computer.
Oh, is it? You can't hit stop? You gonna take it to me? Is the...
Yeah. Live feed's not back yet.
Oh. You're gonna restart?
I have to.
Sometimes it does this. I don't know why.
It does it weird times. It's not always the same.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It is what it is.
Sometimes it'll say broadcast interrupt and it'll start back up. And we won't have to redo everything, but
Computer's running cool.
people are still commenting on it.
Really?
Can y'all hear us? If you're in the chat, say hello. Click on some thumbs up. There. Hey, now it looks like it's moving. Welcome to the Thunder Road Show. Is the camera on me, Steve? Is it on the video still?
No video still.
A little bit of a rough start here. Welcome to the Thunder Road Show. I'm your host, Doug Johnson. We're brought to you by Da Vinci Performance Carburetors, Mosier Engineering, and Nitrous Outlet. Steve, computer in the house.
You beat.
You couldn't hear that. He beeped quietly. But welcome to the show. Y'all like and share this, please. Give us some thumbs up, some heart emojis, if you can hear me and see me. Is anybody out there? I can see myself, so that's all that matters. So we got a great show for you planned tonight. Have young gun Bobby Darnell in the house. What's up, Bobby?
Nothing much.
To pull that mic, fist.
That's good.
Yeah, you got to have your, Daddy, you got to have your phone down too, because we can hear that over here. Yeah, that's much better.
Much better?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
So welcome to Katie. How you doing?
We're making it.
Making it. So dig night, the last dig night was here at Houston Raceway. I had the honor and pleasure of announcing that, and
Good job, by the way.
thank you, man.
It was a good event.
Jared Thompson's watching. Y'all like and share it. Wayne Atterbury, you ready, Steve? Aussie, oi, oi, oi. For our fans down in Australia, down under, thanks for tuning in. Like and share, please. So, the truck class has turned into one of the premier, the full-size truck class.
Yes, sir.
Has turned into one of the premier classes. Jared and I loved this class from day one. It was hard to get Houstonians interested in a full-size truck class at first, even though there was plenty of full-size trucks here. Most of them are what I refer to as trucknadoes. You know what a trucknado is?
No.
Okay, so tornadoes can be obnoxiously loud, right?
Yeah.
So if you ever go to H&P on a Friday night, it's all trucknadoes, single wheel peel, one wheel peel, and like the loudest exhaust or open exhaust or whatever on their daily driven trucks, full-size trucks. They're on hard tires and they're screwing up the drag strip, doing one wheel peels all the way down.
See,
They're doing cams and heads and all that shit, and then they still have a 16-second full-size truck.
Dad and I and a couple of our buddies, we have our own little name for it, too. We call them tequachis. It means possum in Spanish.
How do you say it again?
Tequachi.
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 I love it. Possum, because they play dead?
Well, they play like they're fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it. That's great. Because, but I have exhaust on my truck, and it's fun when you see a Mustang guy with his flared fenders and shit, and you give him a little bit, and he thinks you're one of those tequachis, and then you let him take off, Yeah. I was given some mufflers for mine, and I bought a 4-inch tailpipe, so it sounds adult loud. Damon, you've heard my truck. It's not obnoxious. It sounds good.
It's good.
But tasteful.
Very
We call it
tasteful.
adult loud.
Adult loud.
It's not 17-year-old open pipe, straight pipe loud.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, though.
But so I tell you what, man. We're showing some videos here. I'm gonna go ahead and push play again, Steve. And if you want to flash back and forth, can you do that? So here we are. You can't see it because I haven't bought the HDMI splitter that would put it up on that TV behind me yet. But we're showing the past between you and Daryl Usher of Budget Boys. What round was this? Do you remember? Second?
That was third round.
Third round?
Third round.
Did you have any clue who Daryl Usher is?
I had.
No, basically not. You heard
I
that?
mean, I've heard of him. Dad talks about him from back in the day. Has been racing for a really long time.
Yeah, before like you were born, the dude. No shit. Like in 98, 99, the dude in 2000 was a living legend in the Houston area. And if you ever heard the podcast with the Chief and Sean's podcast when they used to do it, they talked about how they got the top 10 list for Street Outlaws because they would follow Hot Rod Gossip, which was Joe Golden's voyeur forum, which was before the registration forums, like Westside Mustang and LS1 Tech. There was these voyeur forums. And voyeuristic sounds, like Pornhub shit, but it was a scrolling board where you put a name in, but you could put any name you wanted. And so he had one of those pages, and it was well known all over the world for drag race fans because it would post up the videos. Well, Daryl Usher was the Budget Boys, and they competed and he was probably on the top Street King dude for over a year at one time. Like nobody was beating him. One of the biggest races I saw was when Slapper Bar Sammy on a 29.5 beat him with his big tire Camaro. Front end lifts off and all that shit, and Sammy's got a nicer 540-inch motor with that orange paint that had metal flake in it, so that a magnet would stick to it. And they were doing shit like that back then. And anyway, so I knew Daryl had been to some no prep and had been having fun with his truck and doing some stuff with
It's a beautiful
Craig.
truck.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful. And it gets
truck.
confused for my good friend Brian Barker's truck, who goes by Gumby. And I think your dad knows who Gumby is. There's a white square body that's got a bow tie, like a big bow tie sticker in the back window that's got a big block on gas in it. And it's a big tire deal. Hangs out with Big Mike and them. And he's from Katy. But he just doesn't bring his truck out much anymore because he's a puss. And, he's always working. And I'm like, dude, let me take your truck out or something, man. It's just sitting there. And anyway, so did that make you any more nervous going into that round?
No, most of the time, I just get in and everything kind of shuts out, or else, you're slow like that.
Hey, who's Reagan Woodward?
Reagan Woodward,
Is that your girlfriend?
no, that's actually my, aunt's boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he gets that all the time with a first name like Reagan. So,
Yeah.
he wants your autograph, so you're going to have to sign his titty. So, I've watched you grow up in this, in the last few years.
Yes, sir.
When did you... Okay, so wait, before I get into all that history shit, let's recap Dig Night. So, y'all got there and you tried to call out
Roy
with the Pasadena
Speed
Shop, who sponsored the full-size truck class. You tried to call them out first round, and he's like, "Oh no, y'all got the Blazer first round."
He said he had Blazer first round, but I mean,
he didn't end up running Blazer first round.
I don't think so, because the Blazer and I raced the Blazer.
He just wanted to
later
draw
on.
like a man. He wanted to draw a chip. So he called me Douglas Nowak. Or no, wait. Jared said that. So who'd you have first round?
I had another young kid with a Turbo LS and like a 2000 model. His name was Julio, I think.
What color was it?
It was blue.
The dark blue one?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It was a good looking truck too. It was quick.
And I mean, there was a lot of fast truck, 15 trucks, the biggest class. And we've never had a truck class, a full-size truck class, be bigger than anybody else.
it was cutthroat. That was a really
And
good.
a lot of heavy hitters. I don't think there was many ducks in the class.
No.
There was nobody that came out there that on a street tire thinking it's
No,
going to be
not
daily
at all.
drivers. So
Not at all.
so what happened the first round? Did you just
Um,
treat the snot out of him? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Basically.
I got him on the tree.
And then did you draw the blazer?
Yeah,
Yeah, you drew
I drew the blazer second round.
And that's Randy
Randy Seals.
Seals,
But
which
I don't
is
think
gone. He sold it the next day.
He wasn't driving it.
No,
that night
he
either.
wasn't. His friend was driving it because he already had plans at New Braunfels or the river or whatever. So that thing was already scheduled to was sold, and he convinced the
Oh.
guy to let him keep it one more day, and they jerked the motor out and trans out, and it went on the trailer rolling the next day. But the truck, it's going to be local, and it's going to be fast and raced still. So
Sweet.
yeah,
I
so
look forward to racing it again.
it looked cool with the top off too.
It does look. It looks pretty.
I
pretty
think it
killer
looks
with the
better
cop.
because you can see the cage and stuff, and
Yeah, it looks really killer like that.
a K5 Blazer 2-wheel drive on a medium tire. Then it's painted like,
Bumblebee yellow.
yeah, but it may not be this, but it looks like one of those old Mako paint jobs.
Yep.
But it was a good looking truck. It wasn't. No, get me wrong. It's just that yellow is one of the. It was like an original color yellow. But Randy's got so many projects. He's got a beautiful '66 Chevelle now that he's
Really?
going to do something with. But so you busted his ass, but that was a close race, wasn't it?
I have no idea because
You never saw him.
I never saw him, and from the video, he was all over the track. And then
Yeah, that was one of the sketchiest passes they've had.
and
That
then
thing.
whenever we got down there, he told me good race. And my buddy, one of my buddies had just
Yeah, I forget his name too. Fuck that guy.
Ulysses.
Oh.
Ulysses had just done something, and he was broke on the side of on the return road. So I stopped to help him, and then Randy or whoever was driving Randy's truck drove past and was like, "Hey, good race." And I was like, "Yeah." I didn't even notice the wind light came on for him, and then I drove back to the pits, got on my pit bike, went and helped Ulysses, and then my mom called me and she was like, "Hey, they said that you didn't win that." I was like, "What?" And then I drove the pit bike back up to the line, and I told BJ, I was like, "Hey, he didn't win that race," and he was like, "Go talk to him." And then
Well, we had already known that the
the lights were all
wind
messed up.
what happened is somebody dropped a cooler on it, and
Yeah, it broke the wire or
yeah.
something.
So Austin Hayward does a great job of improvising to have that dig night with a wind light.
Yeah.
By taking some wire and wiring up a guard beam set up so that the wind light will come on whoever crosses first, and it works great. What's up, Bob Galetti's watching? So there's a Douglas Nowak in the chat. He wasn't talking to me. I thought Jared was talking to me. Anyway, so appreciate you guys tuning in, and like and share. Hit that thumbs up button, please. The interaction helps us with reach. We are brought to you by Nitrous Outlet Da Vinci Performance Carburetors. You don't have Nitrous Outlet, but you got a Da Vinci carburetor.
We
So
do. We run Da Vinci on everything. Mom's 82 in my truck. Anything that comes
yeah.
into our shop has a Da Vinci on
he's
it.
the man. There's
He
a
is
Da
the
Vinci
man.
on the wagon over there. So
Oh yeah.
Okay, so then after the Blazer, you get Darrell Usher, and
Yeah.
that was a great race for me to announce. The white C10 against the white square body, a big block on gas, taking on a small block, and I don't know that if you know this, but I have a connection to that motor that's in that.
Really?
Yes. Multiple connections. So it's got a Brodex Dash 11 head on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was the older school head you could get from Brodex. We ordered them brand new, out of the box, complete everything for my buddy Nathan Lukey, who owns Katie Custom Finishes, who's my painter. He put them on what he thought was a 383, turned out to be a 350, that's with forged pistons and all that, but he put it in a Cutlass and ran 1080s on a small shot. he sold them to a friend of mine named Brad Corliss, who I went to school with, who owns Corliss Automotive here in Katy. And Brad built them for his 65 C10 truck, or had them ported.
Mm-hmm.
That he built a 421-inch motor. Westside Chevrolet, Westside Performance did the motor. And before he could get it in that motor with those heads on it, which is still the similar cubic inch today, I think it's probably still the same crank, isn't it? Or did you put same crank, same block and everything, or new? It's a 509 block with splayed mains that were drilled and tapped by Westside Performance. So they built that motor. It made 650 horse on the dyno back in 1998, before you were born.
That's power.
And before they could get it in the truck, Brad got an offer on the truck, sold it, and they decided to put it in his brother's 55 Chevy, which was pretty well-known car around here because it was a 10-second car in the mid-90s, and then a driver cruiser, take it down to Westheimer, drive it, run 10. So they put it in there, and it went a 970 on motor with a bench. Not bench seat. He had Mustang buckets and a lap belt. No roll bar, nothing. And they kicked him out, said, don't ever bring that stuff back. And it was drum brakes. And it was really sketchy on the big end. So they built a Camaro that a gentleman you might know. You know Flip Flop? Big Jerry? Way before your time. Anyway, your dad knows him. He's over there laughing. Jerry bought that car, and now a friend, Jason, owns it. I've wired that car 3 times for different owners. So, but that motor went in that car, and then they got another 421 with some other heads, and it ended up getting sold. And I don't know how'd you get it, Dame?
It was in an RX-7.
Oh, it was in the RX-7. Okay, so anyway, it's just the kind of. Yeah, it's just a kind of. It's kind of cool for me to see you out there doing stuff with that motor, because it was the first. Brad was one of the first guys in my little group that I hung out with to actually build a serious high compression solid roller motor. We all had just bolted, we'd done the Mustang scene and all that stuff. So it was kind of cool to have a built from scratch motor like that, and then to see it still doing work is pretty badass.
Yeah.
So now let's get through this real quick. I'll quit bullshitting about your motor. You beat Darnell, and then who'd you have? Not beat Darnell. You beat.
I was like, that's
Darryl.
my name.
Darryl, yeah.
And then I had Baby Jesus.
Oh yeah, the finals. So
finals was Baby Jesus.
And now you're gonna call the truck the Crucifix because you killed Baby Jesus.
No,
night.
it's still Cheyenne. It's stuck as Cheyenne.
I was just making up stuff to try to be funny on the microphone.
No,
but it was fun. So
yeah,
that truck has some history. True, Roy from Pasadena Speed Shop built that truck as a nitrous truck and raced it and did some of this stuff, and then sold it rolling. And the new guys put an LS turbo setup in it, and they went from a red hood to a green hood.
Yeah.
You know why he's got a green hood on it?
No, I don't. I don't know.
Because like the roll cage and shit's painted green.
Really?
He likes like green accents, but I don't.
We like.
It doesn't
purple.
go with that. I said paint the whole truck that green, but
we like purple. It's purple and white for us.
yeah. But so it's just amazing that you can outrun a truck with a 632 in it, and a bigger tire, and then another. I think that's a 588 or something in Budget Boy's truck. Oh, is it in the white truck?
Yeah,
okay, so maybe it is a 632. Those are pretty common today, pump gas 632 deal. But to take a little small block like that on a medium, is that a 29.5, 10.5 or
28?
28?
Yeah.
Oh, it's W. Okay, so you're on a small tire basically, and outrunning these big block nitrous big tire trucks. How light is that thing?
It's not at all. It's really heavy. It weighs almost 4,000 pounds.
I know what the full size trucks weigh, and
Yeah.
3780 with you in it. Well, okay, so that'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Old Heavy's not 4750, and farm truck's not 5,000 pounds. That camper shell on the 2 extra feet of bed and a camper shell
Yeah.
is not 1,000 pounds. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They tried to say it weighs 5,000 pounds, and it's not, even with the roll cage in it.
Yeah.
So, it's just amazing how well that thing works. Y'all blew up the rear end last year, didn't you?
No.
Or what happened?
We broke an axle at Evadale
That's
in the
right.
finals at Redemption against a Monza, and no, it was a Vega or Monza or something like that. And
What were you running in?
that was six. It was either 6.0 or 650.
Okay. And you broke an axle, so you had.
Broke an axle, no retainers, and it just
Oh, that's right.
out, hit the wall.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
But
that was the original.
Trucks have 30 spline axles from the factory, didn't they? Was it a 12 bolt that was in it? Or,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 30 spline axle. So it's, not all of them will break that, but when you're
But
leaving
it was
this-
like this big around.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was itty bitty.
So they're putting that new rear end in helped a lot. And
Yeah.
what was the thing that really made that thing start running? I mean, just when you started spraying it and tuning on it, because really you brought it out and ran index on motor first, right?
We
Or
were
just a
running, we actually started with a little small block, a
Oh.
little bitty small block of 383, and then we put a little bitty kit on that. All of our motors are rebuilt by Fairman,
Yeah.
and put a little bitty kit on that, just like 100 shot, 150, and then we were running 7.0 index on that for the Redemptions and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and the Dirty Souths, and then we got a deal on that motor, and then we were running, because we didn't have a roll cage, we were running just motor in the 7.0 class, and then we finally got a roll cage and we can start.
Yeah, stepping it up.
It actually tweaked the frame
Oh, did it?
because whenever we first put the nitrous kit on it, Dad took it out and he made the first hit in it, and it did like a 2-foot wheelie on the driver's side,
Yeah.
and the passenger side was only like 2 inches
The-
off the ground.
The wagon does that
Yeah,
because it's similar style suspension,
Yeah.
basically,
it
with coil spring.
it actually bent the frame, and we had to tweak it all back out and get the roll cage in it and stiffen it up.
Did that do that on the street or out there by y'all's house or where were you?
Uh,
Oh, you were at H&P, didn't it?
Yeah, that was the
That's
first
good.
hit.
That's good pavement over there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always sticky there.
Okay,
And-
so you're 18 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
When are you gonna be 19?
March 15th.
Okay.
So I just turned 18.
Wow. Just graduated high school.
Just graduated high
From
school.
where?
Weimar High School, May 31st.
Congratulations. How many kids in your class?
45.
Was it really?
Yeah, we're itty bitty. There's like 200 people in the whole
And
school.
you were number 46.
Something like that. I mean, school, race life.
Yeah, right. So when
I made it.
When do you remember? When was the first time you remember? Hey, I wanna have a race car, or a race truck, or I wanna something, whatever.
So it all started out. My dad had what was it, like an 84?
Okay, I'm not asking you about your dad.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But he had an old truck, and everybody knew it as a Ghost.
Yeah,
And,
the white
yeah.
square body that
Yeah.
had the blower on it.
Yeah,
You
and
remember
then-
that thing?
I remember it whenever he sold it.
Oh, okay.
Whenever he sold it, and I remember it sitting in the driveway, and he said, he told me, he said, we're gonna build another truck, and then we've always been racing.
So
We
how
kinda-
old were you when he sold that truck?
I was like 4.
4.
3 or 4. Yeah,
So
I was
that's
young.
about the time kids first they can most people can't remember things that happened
Yeah.
before they were the age 4.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything else before that?
Not. I mean,
remember, like-
I remember a couple like blips, but I mean, nothing real.
I remember
Yeah,
I was
important like
4
that.
years old and my dad was doing yard work and I walked around to see what he's doing. He yelled at me to get back because there was a rat snake, and then I had to go get a hoe, and I didn't know what a hoe was, so that he could kill this rat snake. And then he put it by the curb, and me and my friend Alan, next door neighbor, would peek over the curb every day to see if it was still there. And one day it was gone, and we were freaking out. But it came back to life. It's it probably just got washed down the drain, but
there's some birds got or something.
yeah, but it was just the shell kind of thing
Yeah.
for because we kept checking it was decaying and stuff, and I remember
Yeah.
every day we had to go. We got up and we went and checked on the snake, and that's like the first thing I remember from. I don't really remember much before then. I remember I've seen pictures of what my house was and stuff, but I can't have any. Steve, you got any memories from 3
My dad sold his motorcycle
when you were how old?
when I was about 4.
About 4.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You could pick out any time frame and pick out 3 years of your life and say, "Oh, I remember this from the years between 15 to 18 or whatever."
Yeah.
The first 3 years, you don't remember shit, and that's the you're learning the most. It's probably
Yeah.
sensory overload is why you don't remember shit because you're learning too much to remember any of it. But so that's one of the first memories you have is him selling that truck, and you really understand why it was just something
Yeah.
cool, but it was
Yeah.
at the house, but it was kind of in the way, and y'all never did anything with it.
And then so he sold the truck, and then whenever I was 14, we wanted something for my first truck to drive to high school.
Okay,
And
so in between those 10 years, though, were you a big Hot Wheels kid, build models?
I mean, yeah, we were always working on something, but in between those years, I actually I was roping,
Okay,
and I was doing the whole youth rodeo scene, and I was team roping and cav roping.
well, you live out where in Weimar?
We live in Weimar.
People, that's west of Houston.
Yeah, it's out in the sticks.
Yeah, it's out between San Antonio and
Like dead
and
smack in the middle.
between San Antonio and Sealy, right? Or between
No,
San Antonio and Houston. Yeah.
We're 30 minutes past Sealy.
Yeah, so cool little community out there, but you're doing the roping thing. So did you kind of think I wanted to have a cool ass truck?
Yeah, it was that's all it was. That's how it started. Was I just want something cool to drive to high school. I just wanted like a 500 horsepower small block, just something I could. Whip around.
Did you ever be riding in the car with dad or mom or whatever and look out the window and picture like dream build your truck?
Yeah, it's always been a dream for us.
Like you don't ever do that. Like I mean, you ever sit there and just okay, I'm gonna paint it this color. If money
White.
was unlimited, what would it be? Would it be a square body, a C10? I remember wanting a 3/4 ton long bed square body that my buddy had in a field, and it was a 4-speed truck. And one of my friends that was in FFA with me and stuff convinced me, because we had that out here too, and I did all that stuff when I was growing up, that having a cool truck that could pull a trailer is a 3/4 ton lowered would be badass. And I didn't think like that. I just followed what everybody else did, and
Yeah.
everybody else they may have long beds, but they were all half-ton lowered or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, man, that would be cool with the right wheels, a lowered 3/4 ton, and then you could make it fast and pull. And I remember dreaming the graphics, because in the 80s everything had
Yeah,
graphics on it. So I was dreaming of the
Paint.
purple or whatever graphics that was going to look like a ramp and go over the bed, and the cow hood and the
Yeah.
gauges I wanted. And that when you're bored and you're riding
Yeah.
with somebody,
Yeah.
you just
Well,
daydream about it. So
It's never boring in the car whenever Dad's driving. So.
so
Yeah.
were you a big fan of Street Outlaws when it first came out? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Or were you watching roping courses? And
I really didn't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
I was always out of the house. So like during the school year,
yeah,
where you're working
yeah.
right after school, and then during the summer, I'd go to Giddings, where I live now,
Uh-huh.
and I used to train and ride horses for a pro roper,
Okay.
Justin Moss, and we did that. So I never really was home inside, so it's all. I didn't really watch a
So
lot of
when
TV.
did you decide you're not going to be a professional roper for a living?
Okay, so we went to the track on the first day the first time we went to the track after getting the little 383 running, which was on my 16th birthday. We got
Okay.
it finished. We got the truck finished. I got it on my 14th, and then
Okay.
on the 16th we finished it. And we went to the track, and I made one pass and was like, man, I wonder how fast I could get my truck if I sold all my horses.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it all started as let's trade like one horse for a couple 100 horsepower. So,
But
and
you
then
had some good roping horses, right?
yeah, I got lucky and I got a good set of horses, and I made a couple really good, and
I mean, there's some big money in that roping stuff, but it takes
it's
a
hard.
lot of money to.
It's hard.
But it takes
It's
a lot
hard.
of money to travel and
Yeah, it's
equipment. It's almost, yeah, it's like the team roping or roping deal is equivalent to what drag racers spend.
yeah.
on their,
It's like the same hobby, except we can if the truck breaks and we don't have the money to fix it, we can park it in the shop, and it won't take up any money sitting there. And now if you have a horse,
you still got to feed that
you still
son of a
gotta
bitch.
feed it, and then it can
And
go in the
vet.
pasture and break its leg, and then you got a $10,000 vet bill.
Yeah.
Like it's always something with horses. It was just bad.
Douglas Nowak wants to know if you've ever dodged a hog while doing a test hit.
Dodged a hog while doing a test hit. No, but we dog hogs.
But the hogs are bad out there.
Yeah, no, we go hog hunting. Before I moved out, we were going hog hunting every single weekend, and
Wow.
sometimes, multiple times during the week.
Do y'all
It's
keep the
terrible.
meat and eat it, or y'all just dispose of
No,
them?
no, it's
Some
it's
people like the
strictly-
meat.
Yeah, if you get a small one, not a big old nasty boar, because it tastes nasty. But if you get a small one, you can cook them.
Yeah, they've been rooting in their own shit for too long.
yeah, I don't get it. I don't eat hog. I eat bacon.
It's
but-
fun to shoot though, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's,
So I was in my son's Tahoe that has a small lift on it and some 33-inch tall tires, and I was leaving a friend's house out there in San Felipe, right across from where Bomberas is now.
yeah,
And
that's a nice shop too.
it is beautiful.
Yes,
Have you
it
done
is.
the tour of it?
No,
Oh, it's badass.
Mom got to go to get some nitrous, but I want to go.
I'll take you over there. We'll do the tour if you want to go sometime. I
Sweet.
just did it last week. That's why it was awesome.
Dude.
The shop's air conditioned. And, yeah. Do you hear that, Damon? The
Air
shop's air conditioned.
conditioned. Air conditioning.
But I was leaving. I was right across the freeway from there.
Yeah.
And I had the high beams on. I had
Yeah.
the bar on. 'Cause
Yeah, light bar.
The light bar. And that's bright as shit. Well, these hogs would go across the street and they would rut, but they couldn't get in that field
Yeah.
because he had one of those good fences. So they
Yeah,
would
why?
rut that ditch. Well, then when the car would come, they would haul ass back over the road.
But the
I had to kill 4 of them
yeah.
because I went airborne
yeah,
because it was
it gets
the
bad.
whole train of them going across, a stampede of hogs. And dude, if I wouldn't have been ready and had to control the wheel, because I literally hit and went and had to
Yeah.
land the truck. I mean, it could have been ugly, but
Yeah, no, it gets
there was
bad.
a couple. 2 of them or so were 150 pounders or better. 200, not 200 pounders, but they
Yeah.
were big and didn't do any damage to the truck, but they were laying there going. "Rah, rah, rah." So I
How'd that go?
finished it. Rah, rah.
One more time.
No. You get it twice and that's it.
Yeah, no, it gets rough.
Hey, Mike Stallings is watching. I haven't heard from that guy in a minute. What's up, Mike? Y'all like and share this. So, so you got hooked on your 16th birthday, and is that what? How long did it take to process? Okay, screw it. I'm selling some of these horses that night on the way
Yeah.
home. You
No,
made the-
I'd already made my mind up. It was a little bit harder to convince mom and dad into it, but I mean, race life. There's nothing
And
like
now
it.
here you are, and you've won your first big event. I mean,
Big event.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you made it to the finals before in 7-0 index, right?
7-0, the 650, and then I think the 6-0, and then I won.
You've made the finals in all those.
I think so. I
And
don't-
if you won,
Yeah.
what did you win?
We won San Antonio's little small tire list one night. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people. There was only like 3 rounds, but I raced a couple Mustangs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
So, but you haven't won an index race yet.
no, Usually it just turns out bad. Something breaks.
Tell me, how was the competition as tough as you thought it'd be in some of those index classes?
In the index classes, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, if you get
you go to 7-0
yeah,
at
if you get-
H&P.
yeah, it's
There's some killers in
Yeah,
that
no,
7-0
you gotta be
index.
quick.
Glenn Gustafson's watching. He's one of them, the Swede. But those, you got to be able to cut a light
Yeah.
in the low teens to O's
Mhm.
to
It's
go rounds.
That's how it is. Like, I mean, sometimes you just get unlucky and you draw one of them big sharks, and
Yeah.
you gotta do what you can do.
Have you ever wanted to run the 580, guys?
Always, it's
That's
always I
like
want to be
the
faster.
top echelon
Yeah,
guys too, man.
Those are
You got
those are
Da
the
Vinci and James Few and the Superfly Vet.
Yeah.
Used to have Mark Salisbury, rest in peace. But those guys are, I mean, dude, I see James Few go out there and go out first round, and you know, James K has been destroying the
Yeah,
580
he
class,
does.
and he is fender racing. You're not supposed to be able to fender race that level of competition and beat them. Because when I was running in Mod Motor, which was a Fun Ford sponsored class that was basically you set an index on Saturday and then they dropped a tenth off, and that was the index you used. So it was on a staggered treat. But dude, the second year you couldn't fender race the guys. You couldn't really push them in deep because they were running the number, and they had dialed their
Yeah.
cars in, and they're watching weather all of a sudden. They're not just cutting good lights on all the rookies.
Yeah.
That's the first 2 years of that class. It was just, if they got a rookie, they're just, they know they had him because they know they could cut a tree.
Yeah.
But then they started knowing their cars better, and when you get some serious index guys like Da Vinci that can go an 80 on
He's a
an
killer.
80, yeah,
I mean,
and
he's solid.
like Douglas Nowak's saying it too, 7-0's brutal, and Chuck Hoekstra, who comes and does the show a lot with us now, he was a very competitive 7-0 racer. He talked about how hard it was to really do well in the local index stuff, and so good luck to you on winning one of those, because I mean to win a 15-car truck class, that's
Yeah.
a big deal. Don't get me wrong,
you.
it's a heads-up deal. I mean, you're in a player in a heads-up league now with
Yeah.
Flashlight Star. If you can tree all those guys, dude, but to go to a redemption race and go to rounds and to go to the finals with some of those guys that are getting good at the index,
Yeah.
you know, that's cool, man. It's cool. Are you allowed to say, was it a pretty good take from Dig Night? We'll let you keep it at that, but you did all right when that win, huh? Because it
Yeah.
was the 1,000 on top, right? They added the
Yeah.
because they had 15 cars. So thanks to Jared for doing that. I mean, oh yeah, John Stanley and that bad company Camaro. John Stanley's a good index racer too. He's the Sunoco dealer.
Oh
Or
yeah,
one of them.
yeah, the blue one.
The blue one, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty car too.
And it works.
Yeah,
And
it's nasty.
here's what I want to do. We're gonna film it, and we're gonna leave from here. Me and the Thunder Wagon on radials, regular hard tires, and I'm gonna drive the wagon to H&P one night, and have somebody, Steve or somebody, can drive the truck with the tires and the jack in it. I'm gonna put the slicks on it and enter the 7.0 index on motor when I get my roll bar in it, and I'm putting the 6-point in it and a new throttle cable, and then I'm gonna drive that bitch home. I want to see if I can go a round or two, just to run the 7.0
Yeah.
index. It would be cool.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, I drove, because it's 45 minutes to
Yeah,
H&P.
no, it's
That's a good
so it's
haul.
it's a little bit longer than that, I think.
Yeah, it takes about, depending on what night you're going in the traffic, it takes a good 45 minutes to get there. It's
Yeah.
30-something miles, but through the center of Houston, basically. So
Yeah.
I think it would be cool on a Saturday to do that and
Oh, yeah.
video it, and just to see. Man, even if I could just go one round or two rounds would be cool, and say, hey, I drove it there and I went some rounds, and I think that I'm definitely gonna have to get a trans brake, though. I don't think I'm gonna be able to foot brake it and get it done. John, Doug said something. You're on, bro. I don't know what he's talking about.
Doug who?
Douglas Nowak has said something on the chat. But anyway, so are you surprised at how you're beating big block trucks? You just know what the thing runs, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
I mean, it's pretty cool that you can take an older school motor like that, a small block, and still. And some of these LS turbo guys
they're
are.
so freaking fast on the big
I mean,
end.
if you're
It's
not making
ridiculous.
1,000 horsepower
It's so ridiculous.
LS turbo setup, you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
You're not
I
doing
mean,
it right because
It's,
all those trucks Roy makes make over 1,000.
yeah, those trucks. There's a champagne colored one that we watched at San Antonio, and it was running fours. And it
Really?
was straight nasty.
So I've seen Roy bring that truck to the Texas Speed Syndicate Quick 30 Invitational and go 830s in the quarter. You know, but when you're on asphalt and you're in a competition and you got it turned down just to be a little safe, you know, make sure you're going to go down. He's out there on radials on a prep track doing it.
Yeah.
But, so, you know, it's pretty cool that is there a forum? I mean, not a forum, but a Facebook page for full size guys in Houston?
Yeah, there's a drag trucks by it's like Mark DeWald.
Okay, is it a local Facebook page or is it? No, it's just
it's all across.
So, do y'all communicate? Do you think this truck class is going to grow?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna grow a lot because full size. I mean, it's just cooler, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly,
it
like
is
making
cool.
something that big go fast. It's hard.
You know who's internet famous with a full size truck? Who's kind of taking a break from racing right now? Brent Baker. The charcoal one out of the DFW area.
Yeah.
That's a bad son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I saw that truck on YouTube videos. Like I was researching. Something just dropped.
Yeah, it's
Is water?
I
So, I remember just checking out that truck board on found it on YouTube.
Yeah.
He was at the very first Dig Night event that was at a airport. You remember that one? Did you go to that one, Damon? So that one, the Dig Night first page. I remember it had Brandon Ferguson's car on it for a while and stuff, and that 2 weeks before that first Dig Night was planned at an airport.
Yeah.
Like it blew up on that page, just went crazy. People started sharing it like crazy. And that's when you could share stuff and it would get a lot of reach and a big page would share it.
Yeah.
And then there was too many people they had too many people at that airport. I got there at midnight and had to park on the street and walked in and saw all but dude, Brent Baker's truck on that asphalt pavement was going a bunch of rounds, and it was Daniel Burks who ended up winning it in Blazonic with a small block.
Blazonic.
Yeah. And, you know, talk about a guy who's been on a kill.
Dude.
Daniel Burks in the
That
Love.
freaking Love
I
is
said, dude.
crazy.
That's
actually, the Love is the second or third person I ever raced.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Very good.
We went to H&P one night, and it was another truck class, and we just wanted to enter.
Yeah.
And I drew the Love first round, and I got out, and I was like, I got out on him, and then just.
Yeah.
Because I still had.
That truck wasn't near as fast as it is now either. That thing, for what he took an extra motor, and put a single turbo in it. It had a 4L80E in it originally.
Yeah.
Because it was just a true street truck, and then ended up couldn't get that to launch right. But little small. Chuck said the podcast is down. Are we having trouble, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think the hotspot went down.
We were sitting there talking. I don't know how much. How
That was
long
good
it's
talk
been
too.
I know.
Of course.
How long we been down?
Not very long. Maybe about 40 seconds.
Ah.
I was trying to switch hotspots. But it's, yeah, FAA8 is totally gone. It's not even there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the battery died.
It was perfect.
Was it charged?
I hope Pro sees it.
Yeah.
He just signed on. I don't think he missed it. He probably missed it. He can go back and. Oh my! I can't believe that.
About what? Oh no, that's funny. That was really awesome, actually.
Hey, your bucket's leaking.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dripping.
Yeah, it's dripping off.
Oh. You might have to take and pull the cooler off the edge a little bit more.
And we're
Lost it again.
almost back. We got some thumbs up, and then here comes.
Hey.
All right, welcome back. Sorry, we lost the blue. For some reason, we lost the
Yeah, I switched to Wi-Fi 6B.
the Wi-Fi hotspot. So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about Daniel Burks and his love truck.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, the Love truck is
Love.
just, I mean, a 23-degree headed small block that's really pretty mild, and a power glide and a
Yeah.
turbo and intercooler, I mean, air-to-water intercooler.
It
and
goes
the thing's-
rounds, though.
Dude, it
It
does.
goes rounds.
And he's good about his maintenance on the
Mhm.
thing, and very rarely it has some weird stuff like the
Yeah, whenever
tank
that-
cracked.
Yeah, and then whenever he had that boost leak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that guy's, just be glad he's not allowed in the full size truck class.
Yeah.
But
He's a great guy too.
He's a
I
great dude.
I love talking to him.
so yeah, and then we were talking about Brent Baker's
Yeah,
full
Brent,
size
yeah.
long bed square
Yeah.
body, which everybody thinks, oh, there's no way a long bed's gonna be fast, and he ended up. He tears a lot of people up with that thing. So, what do you want to do to the truck next? Like, if it was money's not an object, what would you do to it? Wheels, bigger tires, lower, anything different? You would do?
No, I'd go with a new chassis, and then. But right now, I'm thinking along the lines of putting a progressive on it, and putting a second kit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, would you leave it on the size tire it is now?
yeah,
or would
for
you,
sure. Because
you
I
like
want to
being on
keep
that?
I want to keep running the full size truck class with y'all.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But
But it allows big tires.
I thought the rules were 29 10.5W.
I don't.
Yeah,
Huh?
you can't go any bigger than that. I thought. Yeah.
Oh, is that what Darrell had on and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, they just put them on the 14-inch wheels. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. I thought, because some of the guys were on a real small tire. So, but that's cool. Yeah, I guess that's the one thing. There's, Darrell's truck, even on that tire on a 14-inch wheel, looks like it's got a big tire
it
still
looked,
on it.
it looked very meaty the first time we saw it, which
Yeah.
was that night that I went to the finals with Roy, and then we got rained out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I remember seeing that truck.
Would you put a big block in it?
Probably not.
Would you ever do turbo?
Me and Pops are just old school. We like saying that we can hang with the big dogs with the carburetor,
Yeah.
and then it's
So if this class
Yeah.
though starts getting a little, it keeps growing like it does,
yeah,
you're gonna have some guys that are figuring the shit out.
yeah.
And you're
it's
gonna have
get
to step
nasty.
it up.
Yeah.
So there's got to be Dad's saying there's still more room in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very
But,
mild in it
you-
right now.
You're gonna have to think about, do we take some weight out somehow?
Yeah, that's another like big thing I'm thinking about is getting it lighter because I mean it's just heavy.
Yeah. I mean, you could do,
The cross member,
the cross member
yeah,
deal,
that
the
cross
tubular
member's heavy.
A-arms,
yeah,
do TBM brakes, the best brakes for a heavy vehicle, the brake man.
we got
I just,
Mosers on.
oh, do you?
Yeah, for the rear, and
For-
then it's got
What's on the front?
the stock ones.
Okay, so then I'm saying on
Yeah.
the front, you want to put
Yeah,
the TBMs.
everything's stock on the front end.
You take the spare tire out of the back.
Yeah, it doesn't have a spare tire. Yeah.
You could get a lighter
It
hood.
actually, the whenever we got that rear end was that was whenever we swapped it to disc brakes. We were still running drum brakes. But
Oh.
the 71 was the first year that they had disc brakes on the front.
Yeah.
So we got lucky with that. But up until then, it had drum brakes on it.
You could do a fiberglass bumper and paint it satin black.
No, I'd do a fiberglass bumper, but I'd I make it chrome or something like that. Get it
You
wrapped.
could do a wrap in chrome,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know. Whenever we were first thinking about stuff like that, it's more like make it fast, not make it look good.
Yeah, yeah.
But
there-
yeah,
There's got to be some way. There's probably a good
Fiberglass.
300 pounds on that you could shed on that thing.
more than that.
More than that?
Just that cross member itself probably weighs like 400.
Well, yeah, because when you do the
yeah,
double A arms and
tubular
stuff.
and everything.
You know Lisa King?
Yeah, that's my aunt. That's Reagan's.
She's
That-
the tree master.
The tree master. So have you
Goddamn.
started working? Do you have a practice tree at home?
No, I don't have a practice tree.
There's an app on your phone.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
So do you
Got a light on that.
practice your reaction time?
sometimes whenever I'm bored,
Okay, good.
like if I'm just sitting there.
Even
waiting
the
on food.
pros will work a practice tree.
Yeah,
Even Erica Enders
Yeah.
will still get
Yeah.
on a
Oh, yeah.
practice tree. So, and you need to think about you're probably $1.15 soaking wet.
no, I'm actually heavier than I look. I weigh like 140, 150.
Okay, that's not bad for a grown ass kid. So
Thank you.
so
though.
now that okay, so the idea is I'm gonna take this to a new level, win some money with
Yeah.
this. I gotta stay light too. So you're gonna have to maintain low carbs, stay off the sugar. You're gonna have to do some training to stay in shape, because you don't want to end up like me and your old man. I was. He is.
that's
We
cold,
both
that's
lost a
cold.
bunch of weight though.
Hey, he did.
How's he doing his?
Sweating it all out at work.
Now come on now.
It really, it's
Did you change his diet any?
a little bit. I mean, he doesn't eat as much as we used to,
Okay.
but I mean, we still eat.
You get a gastric bypass done?
No,
Tell the truth.
no,
That's good. He has lost weight. I've noticed that.
yeah.
And I lost about 70 pounds myself. I don't know that you remember when I
About how
was
much
big.
you lost, right?
75?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did you do low carb or anything? No? You just got sick? You just stopped eating? Oh. Well, that's not good for you
That's
either.
not
You're
good at
supposed to
all.
eat. But this bullshit about eating 6 times a day
Yeah.
is not necessarily good for people that want to lose weight. Intermittent fasting's better. The 6 times a day thing is for when you're heavy training or trying to add weight,
Yeah,
like bodybuilders.
Like
stuff.
mass. Yeah.
But yeah, carbs and sugar is how I did mine, and I'm about to start getting it. I want to get 50 more off. But anyway, you're gonna have to maintain your girlish figure. And-
What?
it's just a
Ouch.
joke. Because my kid was 200 pounds when he was a junior or sophomore, you know.
Yeah.
And they're just bigger kids.
Well,
and so-
Dad graduated at 6 foot and 160.
Oh wow.
So I'm not far behind him.
I was 5'11", 177. So
I'm 5'10". at 150.
would you ever want to put a cow hood on the truck?
I wanted to. I'd do it if I went fiberglass. But
Sunoco. Man, could you imagine one of those with a Sunoco? I bet you somebody would make it. Or you could buy the Sunoco fiberglass and graft it to a fiberglass hood. You know what I'm talking about, what the Sunoco hood looks like?
Yeah,
The cow that goes down in the back. No C10 I've ever seen has had that. And they don't make them for Chevelles either. And I would love to have a Sunoco hood. I wanted to graft a Sunoco hood to the steel hood.
Mm-hmm.
And then have Mark Bannert faux finish it like it's patinaed like the rest of the hood.
Yeah.
Because I had to cut a hole for because the big block sticks through the hood. So we just left the patina hood on there and
Yeah.
cut a hole, and it's got an air cleaner sticking through it now. But something's going to be done different. I thought about
Lexan.
buying a plexiglass
Lexan.
snorkel, so
Yeah.
sticks out,
Yeah.
or leaving the air filter on it to drive around in the hole, but
Mhm.
having a plexiglass
Box.
box, kind of like a Dodge Dart air
Yeah.
clean
Yeah,
scoop
yeah,
has
yeah.
from the, and do one of those in plexiglass, maybe a little bit taller. That way, leave the patina hood on there, and then I could put, for if I'm traveling, a block in it, like
Yeah,
a foam
yeah,
block
yeah.
thing, to keep water from getting
Yeah.
in there. But
Not only that, but it'll suck all the fuel out.
yeah.
Vacuum.
So, but that's cool, man. I'm really, really impressed with your success as a driver.
Thank you.
I mean, you really picked it up quickly for someone who up until 2 years ago, wasn't
Yeah,
even really interested
yeah.
in doing it.
I
You're
mean,
not.
it's always been there.
Yeah,
it's,
but
it's
like
deep.
like JTK is into junior dragsters and
Mhm.
stuff, and you chose
Yeah.
you were going on the rodeo route, in which I've got a friend. His dad flies him to his roping. I mean, he's saddle broncs,
Yeah.
but his dad was from Katy, Kirby Berry,
Mhm.
and his son. You may know his son. He's in the state finals now or whatever. I mean, or in
Oh,
the-
for high school rodeo?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Anyway, so
We made a couple trips up to Abilene.
did you?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, was that a cool experience?
Abilene? Yeah, it was a real good experience. We didn't. The last time I went, we didn't do any good. I never even got to throw my rope because my header missed twice.
Oh, no.
Twice, but I mean, sometimes
Just sometimes you're off.
it's off. So
Who parties harder, rodeo guys or racers?
rodeo people.
I
Yeah,
agree.
rodeo people.
The racers can throw down, but I don't think they
Yeah.
do it like rodeo people.
I
'Cause
think
rodeo people are at clubs more often.
I think racers back in the day used to party a lot harder. I think it's mellowed down a little bit.
Not if you go to a NASCAR track. race.
Well, we're talking drag racing.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it just depends on where you're at and what the event is and
Yeah.
how hard people have to work the next day. But there's
Like
been
Evadale gets
we
all
used
the
to throw
spectators
down
getting
with
hot.
Paul Brandt and Pro Mod Racing because they
Yeah.
would boil crawfish or something, and yeah, sometimes the nationals
yeah.
can be any national event is
Yeah.
a pretty big party in the pits that night on Friday night typically. So, do you feel like you made the right decision now?
100%.
Awesome.
Like I'm going to school for it now and everything.
Yeah.
And
So you're gonna go to Sam Tech starting when?
October.
Very cool. That
Yeah.
is a great program and a great
Yeah.
facility, and they're always improving it.
Yeah,
And-
in fact, they're building a new building, and hopefully that.
Yeah, they
will
had
get
to
a build-
buy up some of the houses around them.
Yeah, but they're building a whole new building, like
Yeah.
a whole new facility, and hopefully it's done by the time I go there. Because they had the floor plan and everything out whenever, like the model of it, whenever I went there to tour it.
Yeah.
And then I took my tests and stuff, and it's gonna be nice.
Does Judd know that you're actively drag racing already?
I don't think so. They
So-
might.
So I knew Judd when it was Northwest Engine before it was a school,
Yeah.
and he couldn't find any qualified machinists. There was nobody training it, so
Yeah.
that's when he's like, "Screw running a business. I'm gonna start a school," and got it an EDU, and that's a big deal to
Yeah.
come as a charter type school. And now he can give you a degree.
Yeah.
And so many kids are now working for, professional race teams or their
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR teams or funny
Yeah.
car teams or whatever, and they're making a great income traveling, seeing the world. You got to keep driving record clean so you can get a CDL, so you can get one of those big jobs, and
Yeah.
But it's a really cool deal, and their involvement with that's gonna be cool if you get to help out with the.
Yeah, they said that all you have to do is just jump in to go to the track and do all the Copo stuff with them,
Yeah.
with their Copo Camaro.
That's a
and
very
everything.
cool experience,
Yeah.
and
For sure.
you're gonna get a lot of training. Are you gonna move down closer to school when you start there?
Yeah, I actually, whenever I go there, I'm gonna live with my other aunt. She's got a bed for me and everything.
Oh, very
And it's
cool.
just down 290, so
Oh, that's cool.
it's only a couple miles away.
That's good. You won't have to fight I-10 traffic because Giddings to Samtech would be a long haul in the mornings.
Yeah, it's. But driving ain't nothing.
Yeah.
We drive all the time.
So, are you gonna go to Dirty South No Prep in Odessa? Any plans to do that?
No.
That's too far, isn't it?
No, we went a couple times, and Odessa's just,
Miserable hot.
it's so freaking hot. I love going for the Dirty South stuff. I love racing with Dirty South. That's a great race.
Yeah, they've
But,
gotten really efficient.
Yeah,
and that
it
thing
was
runs
rough
a lot
there for
better.
the beginning,
Yeah.
but it's really great now. And Mike Murillo, he's a real nice guy. But yeah, Odessa's just, it's so hot, and the track gets so oily, and it's hard to tune for there. And it's
So,
just-
what's been your scariest moment?
scariest moment was actually the other day at H&P, whenever the bolt came out for the shock mount on the back end, and then it as soon as I let off the trans brake, it just went straight up and straight right, almost into the wall, and I stayed in it, and then drove it off the wall, and then I got all the way down the track, and then it got loose again, and it was sideways going towards the wall, and I pedaled it once, and then got back in it, and still turned on the wind light, but I mean,
Did you really?
yeah, it was against the Camaro too. an old
Congratulations.
68.
What
but-
were y'all running? Were y'all at the index race on
No,
Sunday?
I was just testing tonight, but I mean,
So
we were just.
you knew something wasn't right because
Yeah, and we went home and we sat there and looked at it, and we thought the trailing bar or trailing arm had pulled the rivets out,
yeah.
because it's got a completely stock. Other than the rear end, the suspension stock.
I know
I
that's
got-
crazy.
Yeah, I
that
got
those-
47-year-old Monroe Maddox under there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could buy some new shocks. They're not very expensive, but
I've told Dad. I've told
Well,
Dad.
yeah,
that, and
right.
Dad said, I said, why don't we get some Sandtuffs? And he said, if Sandtuff can make shocks that make this truck hook better than these, then he'll buy them.
yeah. I mean, until something's
Until
so
it's
it was
wrong,
just a
yeah.
bolt that came loose, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it was pushing up against the spring, the coil spring,
Yeah.
and so it wouldn't compress on that one side, and it'd just pull it.
So there's not an airbag or nothing in that right spring? How do
Nope.
you, does it have an inner roll bar on it or anything?
Nope.
And that it's not twisting up any more than that?
It's twisting up a lot.
I know, but
mean,
I guess the cage took some of it out.
yeah,
Okay.
Jeff G did.
Special thanks to
Yeah, special thanks to Jeff G at Lucas Automotive.
Where's that at?
Where is he? Off of Hempstead. Yeah,
Okay. He put the roll bar in
he
it?
did the whole roll cage and everything,
Oh, cool.
and he did a stellar job on that truck. I mean,
Well, let's get him hooking the wagon up. All I need is a 6-point. man. Actually, Robert Fulmer, a good friend of mine, is supposed to help me, and I think that I'm going to be talking to a company about donating the cage, and then we're going to do an install video, or the roll bar.
Sweet.
We're just going to go 6-point in the wagon.
yeah,
That way, it's still a little more street, and I'm going to run. Most of the stuff will be
yeah.
7.0 index or whatever on motor, and then if I do spray it, it'll be at a dig
Yeah.
night big end type event, So that's what the plan. That's gonna get some work done. Parts ordered tomorrow for it, so
yeah.
getting the new throttle pedal and all that set up. But so maybe they'll let me vote in and run in the big truck class with y'all like they did before.
Yeah, I remember that night.
Well,
yeah.
they knew it was a
pretty
307
nasty.
and there wasn't nothing in it, but we didn't stand a chance, but we wanted to go down
Yeah.
the track and have fun, or let Michael do it. So the first time he ever sprayed a car
Yeah.
on slicks.
Yeah.
So I was happy for him, but the distributor moved and I'm gonna pull it apart and see what happened, but it popped the head gasket and locked
Yeah,
up the motor or something.
Yeah.
But
I remember seeing a bunch of smoke.
yeah,
I think
I'm
I
just
ran
glad-
right behind you.
I'm glad it didn't. Well, behind him, not me, because I was
Yeah.
in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad it didn't put any water down.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy, or that be my car that did it.
Yeah.
But have you ever put anything on the track and then?
Yeah,
stop?
I put a lot of freaking.
When the axle broke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's a
then-
horrible feeling when you're that guy that they're having to
Other
clean
than
up
that,
after.
we run diapers, but we popped it twice. We burned a hole through number 6.
Why number 6? Do you think?
No idea. I think actually I think a piece of trash got into the sprayer,
Oh, okay.
and then it just melted it. And that was at Dirty South, the one that they had in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually broke the shift knob.
How'd you do that?
It started off with I broke the shift knob, and then I accidentally short shifted into 3rd gear, and then it lugged the motor down, and it burned a hole then, and then
Oh, so lugging the motor down when you broke the shifter.
yeah, because I shifted in the 2nd, and then the shift knob came off, and I looked at it as I was going down the track, and I was like, oh no, and then I grabbed the shifter, and whenever I grabbed the shifter, it pulled it into 3rd, and then I lost that race because I sat there and just freaking hammered it because I was right with the dude. I mean, it was so close, and I just wanted it. And burned a hole through number 6, and then we spent all week putting a new piston in it, and we pulled the motor and everything, put a mid plate in it and stuff, and did a little bit of other stuff, but spent the whole week getting the new piston and doing all the other stuff. Made it out to dig night, the first one we went to in Baytown, and we showed up a mess. We stayed up till 5 every single morning, and the truck was nowhere near ready. And we actually broke the trans, and I didn't have second gear. I broke the sprag for a second, and then so whenever I shifted in second, it didn't do anything, and it pinged the motor again at dig night in the first round. That was our first run at dig night, and then the next time we made it to the finals. But yeah. So yeah, we've been through 2, and then we switched to alcohol last time we blew it up, and it's been working really good.
That's cool. Well, I'm on the 85. I like that stuff.
Alcohol is just a pain whenever it's cold.
Yeah, the E85 is too. So, you think it's more consistent with the alcohol?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in the heat, that doesn't affect you much.
Yeah, and then whenever it gets a little bit cooler, you can see it's so much more different. I mean, it picks up.
It picks up a lot when it starts cooling off.
It picks up a pretty good amount.
That's cool. Well, that's cool, man. Continued good luck. So do you think you like the big end racing better than the?
For sure.
That's fun. So, what about Beyond 1320 at San Antonio? They don't really have a truck class, do they? Matt Plotkin? We have to talk to him about that. If we can get some other trucks involved to go out there for that, because that Beyond 1320 deal is a good event. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
Is there mufflers on the truck now?
No.
Oh. Do you have any?
Turnouts.
You can get some mufflers on it because they are having street classes at Evadale at the next big end event.
It's registered.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So maybe that could. I just hope more of those things happen on a regular basis.
For sure. It's so hard to run the truck class because you got people like Flacco and then Daniel Burks and all them, and they're running S10s and stuff and Loves, and they're just so fast.
And No Leg Craig.
Yeah, No Leg Craig. No Leg Craig walked up to me at Evadale that night that I broke the axle, and he wanted to trade me some car for Cheyenne, and I was like, nah, I can't do it.
The Cutlass. He probably wanted to trade you his white Cutlass.
I have no idea. I was about to run. I wasn't even paying much attention because I was literally getting in the truck.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You blew off No Leg Craig, the legend.
No, I didn't blow him off. I was just busy.
Yeah, he's messing with you.
Mind.
Yeah, right? You gotta get focused.
Mind.
You're in the event, and he's walking around talking shit, not doing anything. That's all No Leg Craig does when he's... Dad, you gonna take off, Dad?
Yeah, big daddy's leaving.
He's got a long drive home and then got to work tomorrow. Hey, well, thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out, Damon. All right, man. Well, I don't know how to... Hey, you don't have to take your headphones off just yet. That mean he's not making you go with him.
No, I was just going to give him hugs.
Oh, you wanted to give him a hug?
Yeah.
Go give your dad a hug. That's awesome, man. Steve, I don't know how to make these videos. I don't think they're going to play big.
And we're back.
I don't think so because it's on
TikTok.
I don't know if I can save videos from there. I'm trying to.
You hit the three little dots.
Well, I'm not on my phone, so it's not a 3 dot. I just wanted to take it. Oh, hang on. Maybe it's. So what'd you get him for Father's Day?
Nothing. We just hung out. We actually went to. We play pool a lot for some reason, and it's always a good competition. And we drove to Giddings, and we went and played pool. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, the whole family went. My sister's fiance, and my mom and dad. And,
so anybody you want to give a shout out to that helps you with your program?
With my program? Damon, Darnell, my dad, and Dana Darnell, my mom. And then Bob Darnell, my grandpa. He's the one that really started everything back in the day. And then...
How old's Bob?
I don't know how old Bob is.
How's he doing?
Bob's great. Bob comes to every single race. We got him a little scooter, and
nice.
we load it. We live on the same driveway. Our driveway's a mile and a half long, and he lives on the same driveway as us. And whenever we go to the race, he'll be out there on his scooter, and he'll park it at the truck door. He'll get in the truck, and we load up his scooter, and we go to the races.
That's badass.
Yeah, and then I've never met a guy that can talk so much trash.
Bob
Like,
can?
Oh yeah, we'll be out testing and stuff. Hey pops, let's go find a grudge race. And be like, all right, and then he'll just crank his little scooter up and roll through the pits until he finds a car that seems fit. And you want to race my grandson?
That's
Crazy.
funny, man.
Yeah.
Well, tell Bob Happy Father's Day also.
Yes,
Hope he's
sir.
watching. Maybe somebody will show him this. He's got to be proud.
Oh yeah, we'll show him for sure. He
I mean,
actually got Facebook the other day.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
He doesn't know how to work it, but we're showing him.
Well, your dad did a lot of big stuff back in the day. I used to race against him, and I don't think it's gonna work like that, Steve. I used to I tuned for a car. Sealy and Navasota used to have a small block nitrous, small block naturally aspirated class,
Yeah.
and then and they had big block the same way.
Mhm.
And there was really too many classes because there wasn't enough
Yeah.
cars, but they ended up combining the classes half the time anyway.
Yeah.
And so we would run and he tuned on a green Mustang that had a 408 in it.
Yeah.
Little
with
short dude.
Tom Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that big. There's video of him doing a big wheelie almost onto another car or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And so they would combine the two small block classes together,
Mhm.
and we were a big tire Mustang with a 400-inch Yates-headed motor with nitrous.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't fair, but he always ran us really hard and was. I mean, that car was running 6.0s and 590s on motor,
Yeah.
and we were running 550s in the class, and
Yeah.
and so he was, if we slept too bad, he made us work for it, but that car always did big wheelies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he had the truck, which I remember he'd show up with every now and then, and then I needed
The little red Nova.
I don't remember that, but
You don't remember the Nova? That turned
uh-uh.
out to be my mom's car,
Oh,
and
really?
she actually drove that whenever I was in her belly.
Oh, no
Yeah.
joke. That's
Yeah.
cool. Well, I needed a remote fuel cell, and got his name off of Hot Rod Gossip. And when they had Darnell Automotive down there,
Yeah.
and they were getting these people to make the fiberglass 1-gallon fuel cells. And I bought one from him and put it on a customer's car. And that went down there, and me and him both had the gift of gab, and we sat there talking for 2 hours instead of him getting back to work. But
Yeah.
he was showing me around the shop and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
cool. And then
It's pretty sad. They tore that place down, and now
Oh,
it's
no.
like apartment complex or
oh,
something. But I remember whenever they moved out of there. I
Oh, do
remember,
you?
That's another memory that I remember.
yeah, when you were
And,
very very young.
There's
yeah.
one of our best friends, Ruben Pro. And it's Ruben Pro and then Ruben Pro Jr. And I remember Pro Senior, he had this big ball or something, and he was like, it's a bowling ball, and he rolled it down the shop whenever we were moving out. And that's another thing that I remember.
Oh,
Why,
wow.
I don't know. Why, I don't
Just
know.
one of those things when
Yeah.
you're a young
Yeah.
young child, infant or whatever, that
Yes, sir.
sticks in your head. That's cool, man. Well, hey, it's good. I'm glad to see you're out working now. You're doing some welding. Is it
Yeah.
stick welding? Like,
No, we mostly do MIG. I'm in the shop, and I build custom grills, cattle guards.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
just finished a staircase today.
what's the name of the
We're not-
place?
Capella Enterprises.
In Giddings, huh?
Yeah, and we're not actually done with the staircase, but we're almost done.
So if you need some stuff, they probably have a Facebook page. You can,
Something like
people
that.
listening could go check them out. It'd be
Yeah.
cool. So obviously, Da Vinci helps you with your carburetors, and
Yeah.
Fairman does your
Yeah,
engines, and
For
then
sure, shout out to Da Vinci and Fairman.
Yeah. Who does the transmission?
A little shop out in the sticks in Columbus, Jeff Hoy.
I know Jeff Hoy used to have a
Yeah.
shop on Applewhite, and
Yeah.
Gary Gatsky, who does my transmissions, some of my stuff was his builder for a while.
Yeah.
Gary owns Gary's transmissions here.
Yeah,
So
Jeff
there's-
Hoy does all of our stuff. for
Yeah, he's a good dude.
transmissions.
He was
Yeah, he's
used to
real
do the arena truck stuff.
He still does.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
still has a 5.0
the
monster
green.
truck. Yeah, Monster
F-150?
Patrol. Yeah,
Oh wow. But
It's-
is it a real monster truck now? Or is it an arena truck still?
it's still an arena truck, but
Yeah.
I mean it's full.
But then he
huge
was
chassis and
driving
everything.
King Crunch for a while. Yeah, he actually drove one of the monster trucks locally, and then actually at some of the other events when that guy would do it. King Crunch, I think, was based out of Tomball or
Yeah.
something. So, have you seen lately what they're doing with these monster trucks? These videos are stupid.
Yeah, like all the front flips and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then they're like driving around
Driving
on,
on
the front.
one wheel
Yeah,
and on the front.
yeah, it's
how,
crazy.
How they? I don't know what other controls they've put in to be able to do that, but they're doing some stuff with right and left brake handles or
Yeah.
something, but it's pretty amazing.
You
what-
gotta be a good driver for that.
I haven't been to a Monster Jam in a while, but I got on TikTok and watching all these idiots
TikTok.
do this stupid shit on TikTok. Man, if you want a great time waster, TikTok is the app. TikTok's the app. And people will probably don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but ask your kids.
TikTok does have a lot of stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this app is kind of the
I don't know
It-
if
it
anybody remembers Vine.
It's kind of
There's
like Vines. So it's short videos that people submit. There is some amazing fucking people putting videos on TikTok.
There's some
The-
weird stuff, dude.
There's some weird ass shit, but then there's some shit. There's some like interesting way, kind of Pinteresty shit too, like how to cut a watermelon, and quickly and put it in a bowl and take it out to the pool and diced it all up and shit. It was pretty cool. Like they cut it in a half or whatever, and then they trimmed all of the peeling off, and then they cut it into pieces and put a stainless bowl on it, and then flip it upside down. And you learn some shit like that on TikTok. And then the next video is a guy parkouring on a top of a rooftop. And they're and then you see a goddamn bulldog riding a skateboard in a bowl, in a real skate bowl, and he's pushing it with he's got 3
Yeah.
foot on the skateboard and one, and he's going up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and then you see a video of a chick. I was gonna play some tonight, but it's more fun talking about it. Okay, a dude is in a public area, and there's a snake on the concrete,
Yeah.
and he's a janitor. He's got a broom and he's trying to corral this snake. And this little bitty Japanese girl in short shorts, not trying to get attention at all, walks around, picks the snake up in the middle of the body, not afraid that it's going to come back and bite her.
Yeah.
And she carries it to the pond, and the dude's just like, he was so scared to touch it, was using his broom, and the chick goes up, and so you see some shit like that on TikTok, and it's just some of the midgets doing dance moves to a song, and then the dude pushes the chick into the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, just
It's off the wall. It's for
dude,
sure
it
off
is
the
the
wall.
funniest shit. and I'm a big fan of Christina Pazinski and Tom Segura, who have a podcast called Your Mom's House. And Christina has gotten into TikTok, but her feed's fucked up. Like, she started clicking or liking certain shit, and their algorithm sends her all of the rejects of the world. No joke.
Rejects of the world.
Nice people are probably as nice as they could be, but some of them are a little off. I swear to God, there was a mom who had a short arm in her nightgown. She had one gimp arm. The daughter had 2 gimp arms, and she's in her 90s, and they're lip syncing a pop song, like a hip hop song. And then you have the videos of the girls who are like 15 years old,
Yeah, and they
and
shouldn't
their
be on there.
mom's in the car with them, and they're playing the song with all the cuss words,
Yeah.
and you get the mom's reactions
Yeah.
or something. But then what's really cool is you got the 16-year-old cute girl who's learned the dance routine to whatever's popular
Yeah,
on
new-
TikTok.
new song.
But then she gets her hot-ass mom to do it with her, and her mom's better than she is. And I'm not joking. And the mom's probably like cooking dinner and not dressed up, and
Yeah.
comes over and busts out the routine. And I'm like, that chick used to party. She was the hot cheerleader in school that used to party, and
Yeah.
now her daughter's on TikTok and she's doing dance routines
Showing
with her
her up.
daughter.
Started making your TikTok
It's coming, brother. It's coming. So there's old men telling jokes that are hilarious.
Yeah, no, there's
Like
one
old
dude-
school
Yeah,
punchline setup, punchline jokes.
they're awesome.
And then
I tell my grandpa those.
and then your people. Your people are the demise of our. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Who?
like all the young millennial kids. Like all of
The
us.
redneck ones.
Oh, like
The
the,
redneck
fakey.
young-
No. Okay, get this right. So there's
He's gonna set me
rednecks.
straight.
There's rednecks, and then there's yee, and then there's country people, right?
Yee.
Yee.
Yees?
Y-E-E.
Okay, so tell us what a yee
Okay,
is.
yee is like just a jacked up truck and
Like the-
no yee.
Okay, we're back with audio. Sorry, I
Okay,
forgot to
so-
plug in. So a
A
yee
yee
is we
is a-
called them jicks.
Jicks.
Yeah, when I was riding bulls back when I was 20, believe it or not, I was in my early 20s, and we used to go to a place called Harmon's, and he would practice on Friday nights, and you could ride his bulls on Antoine and 249.
Yeah.
And then on Sundays we would go to a Mexican rodeo on Little
Dude, those are the best.
59 and Hopper.
Those are the best.
It used to be a round arena, and they
Yeah.
would get drunk, and
No,
they
they
would
get
ride
wild.
with no hands, and
Yeah.
then when they get bucked off, they would play dead. They thought if they laid there, the bull would, and so the bull riders and the bull fighters the local would come out there to practice, and the bullfighter wasn't working the Mexican rodeo, and they had those hooks that they put in the bull, not the spurs.
Yeah.
And they ride with no hands or one hand or whatever. He would have to get out there and save these Mexicans that didn't speak, were not legal, and they were drunk, and they were laying there trying to play dead
Yeah.
and not get up
Yeah.
and run from the bull.
Yeah. No, but
And so yeah, that was a fun one. But the guys that pretended they would show up at the bar that night with all their buckle on, but they hadn't been to
Yeah.
they hadn't got their
Yeah.
shit dirty in ever.
yeah, no, like
That's a yee.
yeah.
Okay.
And then like they just wear their ball cap like that, you know. It's just
Those are the guys that are on TikTok dancing to fucking country music
Yeah.
or hip hop stuff or whatever.
yeah. But
That's your people, bro.
no, that's not my people.
You were a rodeo guy.
Okay. I'm just country. Let's just say it. I'm just country.
That's all right.
I'm a
You're
country
allowed
with the
to
dash of redneck.
be.
But I'm not yee.
Hey, you're on a cool path now. I'm not gonna say it's the right one because it's whatever you choose will be right. But it's
Yeah.
it's a cool path, and you're doing well. And I'm gonna tell you what, who you need to keep an eye on is guys like Corey Galletti. Follow them on Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram and stuff. That guy made $200,000 last year bracket racing.
Bruh.
I mean, won a dragster. Went to the finals in the million,
Yeah.
and after crashing his car and getting in his dad's car to finish the event. In the bracket racing, they let you do that because
Yeah.
the cars are supposed
Yeah.
to, you gotta.
Yeah.
It's about the driver and the
Yeah.
setup. So, but he won $125,000 at the million, and
That's ridiculous.
yeah,
That's like
and he's in homeschool, so he travels all over the, But what I'm saying is that you've already got good reaction times. You've already got a lot of experience. There could be a lot in going to Sam. I mean, you never know, man. Bobby Darnell could be the next Antoine Brown.
hopefully. I mean that's
Would
where the
you
plan-
ever want to race professionally?
for sure. I'd
in
love
the
to race
NHRA or
super stock
super stock?
or
Okay.
pro stock. I mean,
Pro stock? Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
Anything
Pro mod?
like anything I could get in. Honestly,
Get his autograph now.
Yeah, we want your
No.
autograph now.
I mean that's the end game is like pro stock. I mean
That would
it's
be
just
cool.
it's just
Why do you like pro stock over fuel cars?
because to me it seems like it's more racing. It's just it's straight just build your car and race it.
Okay, we're gonna play quick fire. Mountain motor pro stock or pro stock?
Mountain motor.
Nice. Did you go watch them at the NHRA race this year?
No, I haven't been to an NHRA race since.
So the Mountain Motor Pro Stock guys were there because they didn't have the Pro Stock class there. And if you go on the Thunder Roadshow Facebook page, you can see the video that we put out this week that we did of Team O's car.
Team
And,
O.
yeah.
See, I haven't followed within NHRA.
So what they're doing
but
is they're letting the Mountain Motor Pro Stock guys have exhibition runs this year.
Mhm.
And what they are doing is when the Pro Stock class, because they went to a limited schedule, they're allowing the Mountain Motor cars to run at some of those events.
Yeah.
And it was very well received, and they're probably going to get to do more next year. And so that gives them a platform to run in and a place, because right now the only thing they have is PDRA.
Yeah.
So it's still cool. It's cool to see a 800-inch, Mountain Motor Pro Stock that runs 620s on motor. I wish that I think Pro Stock, honestly, I know Richard Freeman and them don't want to retool for mountain motors, but if they were able to go as big as they wanted in Pro Stock, like 940s like Nizer has in his 959 or whatever that's in there, I think that was the route they should have gone, personally, as opposed to fuel injected and flat hoods. I think we want to see what can you absolutely do, but then it makes it a big money deal, and that's what they're trying not to do. But I still think it would be cool to see 900-inch, 5-second, quarter-mile Pro Stock cars.
It's either Pro Stock or just keeping the no prep and then getting big tire one day, or staying small tire in a truck.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I want to. If I stay,
Pro Mod or Radio versus the World would be cool too. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, Radio versus World's cool.
Yeah.
Like a Leap of Vet and all them.
Yeah.
Yeah, C7. Those are cool.
Yeah, the problem with like X275 is that you could never get a truck down light enough to fit the rules of what those guys
but I mean, staying in a truck would be cool for like or like a fiberglass and everything.
Yeah.
For a small tire.
There used to be a Pro Mod square body here in town.
Yeah, Dad talked about it, but I never. Yeah,
it was a really cool truck, and I'm losing a blank. I'm drawing a blank right now. Really cool dude that owned it. Rob Geiger's watching. Rob's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, Rob's a good friend of Dad. Apparently, Dad talks about him a lot.
Yeah.
He's a real nice guy.
He was. I met Rob at the Nationals in 2009 when I was first time I got media access to a national event, and was in the press room sitting next to him and was green as shit. Didn't know how things worked in there, and you can't show favoritism. You can't video from there, nothing.
Yeah.
And just the Thunder Road Show, I asked them for media stuff so we could do a live show from when we were on AM radio. We did a live broadcast from Erica Ender's pits down there, and doing it on AM radio was was before we had this technology we do like now.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, he was super cool to me and helped me because he could tell I was a rookie reporter or whatever.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that would be cool. There's a lot, I think there's a bright future in drag racing, and that if you could be paid to either work on a team or drive one or do both, at some level,
Honestly,
like driving a Samtech car or something like that.
Anything, just being at the track is cool. Preferably driving, because I mean that's what I love to do. But I mean I'm cool with working on anything. It's
I was telling somebody my biological father had no interest in racing, and he told me that it was a waste of time. And,
Never.
And they just didn't see the point and the passion I had for it. And now I can look back and say I do a weekly podcast that thousands of people have watched. We've had as many as 80,000 views on some of them. And then I've done some really cool things with this racing gig. I've announced on Street Outlaws 6 times. I've been, announced some of the biggest series and biggest events in the world because I had this passion like you have now.
For sure.
And there's a lot of people that have taken this passion and become successful businessmen or successful drivers or successful teams, and y'all show that y'all know how to go rounds and do the maintenance between rounds. And that's a lot of people don't realize what it takes to get when shit breaks and you're trying to get your just normal tire and bottle maintenance done, and make sure the
Yes,
thing
sir.
didn't burn itself, eat itself alive on the last pass, or
And then,
making, yeah.
I mean, just coming home and then, like, cleaning out all the fuel cell and cleaning out the carburetor every time that you come home.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes at like 5 o'clock in the morning. You know.
Yeah, see,
Like,
I
stuff
don't do that
stuff-
shit with my E85. It's
but
not
I
as
mean,
bad.
it's certain stuff
Yeah.
that has to be done.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's cool, man. Well, I'm happy for you and good luck. And I wanted to get somebody on that's the future of this sport and who's actually doing it and doing it well. And you know, it's you got some good role models that have come up through juniors and are professionals now in it. And
Yes, sir.
and just you know, just remember that the thing that I think felt like I always felt like I needed it today, and there's a lot of future left.
yes, sir.
You know, so finish Sam. You know, get your
Oh, for
experience
sure.
there.
Yes,
and,
sir.
You know, take it from the guys who screwed up and didn't do it right. You know, dude, I would have gone to Sam. I would have taken out student loans and all that if they would have had it when
Yes,
I
sir.
was going to college, because Steve went to Wyotech, which was UTI or
Yeah.
Wyotech, and
Yeah,
Wyotech's
back in
the
the day.
better. Was always the better of the.
Yeah.
Farthest away from here.
It was the furthest away from here too, but you didn't get a degree from there though. You did? You got a
Hey.
BA?
Got a degree from Wyotech.
That really, they were giving
They
degrees?
had one degree.
Huh?
They had one degree. They had paint and body, and they had the automotive, and then they had just started service writer. I took automotive.
Wow. So that's cool. I didn't know Wyotech was doing degrees back in '85 when you went. Huh?
Top 10 in my class. You want to see the degree?
Yeah.
Do I need to bring it to the
Yeah. You're gonna have to bring that. Post it on the Thunder Roadshow page. Yeah. Right. Take a picture of that shit and post it on the Thunder. You are legitimately have a degree from
From Wyotech.
in your
From
Well, it was
Wyotech.
Wyoming Technical Institute.
Wyoming Technical
And they
Institute.
made it Wyotech.
Yeah.
Because that's way cooler.
My buddy Jason Hallbison went to UTI here in Houston, and he was a hot rodder and taught me a lot, and he was teaching the instructors shit,
Yeah.
and then he ended up working at Tommy Vaughn Ford and Joe Myers Ford, and retired basically from Joe Myers Ford, and is now the technical teacher at KD ISD for the
Yeah.
class they have there, which is not the same as when it was in high school.
Yeah.
In high school, you went half a day, 5 days a week, and
Yeah.
it's not as.
Yes,
I
sir.
think it's 2 hours now that they're over there, but still, that he had a great career. I mean, he's still employed and has a great job with the school district, and went through a program that's not. They had hot rod you, but
Yeah.
they didn't have it in Houston. It was only diesel truck and hydraulics and all that stuff. So I think what you're doing is cool, and I enjoy that time at Samtech, because you're gonna look back on and say that was one of the coolest times of my life. A lot of people's defining moments in life are at
Yes,
your
sir.
age and at that time when you're free, and before you get bogged down with kids and wives and shit like that. So, well, we've been on here an hour and 45 minutes.
Really?
I think, man, it was a good job tonight. It was a good show. You have anything else you want to say, or shout outs you want to say? Anything?
Follow me on Instagram, Darnell_performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working your social media.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You're doing it. So
yeah.
you got to
That
be the
does
one.
Facebook, because I can't get back into my Facebook.
Yeah. How'd you get logged out of Facebook?
My phone broke and I can't remember my password. And every
can-
time I try to get the confirmation code, it won't send it to my phone.
Oh.
So I gotta call them. I'll get it back eventually.
Yeah, so you need to get on top of that, and because at your age, building your brand, and we've done episodes about brand building and using social media and
Yes, sir.
building a YouTube page. Cletus McFarland is making a good
Yeah,
living.
oh my gosh, dude. That's
real
ridiculous.
quick before we get off of here, I want to give hey Ronnie Odom, that's a good dude with a
Hey,
full size truck.
that's my buddy.
Yeah. Elvis Collins, keep up the good work. Elvis Collins, you keep up the good work running those index stuff out there.
Yep.
So we got to give a shout out to Lizzie Musey. She won the No Prep Kings
Yeah.
and beat Ryan Martin, and I want to discuss this because I don't believe she did anything wrong. There's a 7-second auto start on the tree.
Yeah.
She took her time like a professional. You watch Pro Mod, Radio Versa World, any of those big finals,
can't be
X275, those guys take their time. They stay focused. You got to...
If you rush it, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's how bad stuff happens, especially at that speed.
So the turbo guys are the guys that bet on that car, on Ryan Martin, because in all fairness, he's been destroying nitrous cars for a couple of years.
Yes, sir.
And driving around them. So all the track hustlers were, and some of these people were kind of butthurt that she was playing games on the starting line. Did you see the video?
No, I haven't.
She didn't time out. She didn't go 7.8 seconds. She didn't go 7.1 seconds. She got in before it timed her out because it would have red lit her. She just took her time, maybe got in his head a little bit because he's up on the chip.
That's the whole name of the game, though.
Especially when you're a nitrous car in trying to win your second final in a row.
For real, it's all about
There's
keeping your mind
staging
straight.
duels have been a part of the game since
That's the
forever.
whole that's the
And
whole
then-
point of it.
man. Sometimes that gets the crowd just fired up.
Like-
If the announcer's announcing it right,
For sure.
and accusing one of them of playing games is not announcing it right. You got to get the crowd fired up and get them. We're going on 2 minutes here and nobody's going in. What are the
Yeah.
what's going through his head, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and get the crowd. And when they have a staging duel at an NHRA race, it's some of the most exciting shit that happens because the cars are heating up, man. These guys are getting. I've been in a situation where I'm at the in the bulb, and that guy is taking his time cleaning his shit out, and I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You're getting frustrated because you're ready to go.
I
You're
mean,
on the wheel.
That's the whole point, is just keeping calm and not letting anything get in your head, but also playing games back. Because if they're playing games, you gotta play games.
And dude, there's no
There's
fucking rule that says
Yeah.
a turbo car has to go in last. It's been a courtesy that some guys have given turbo guys
It's
so that they don't get accused of getting burned down. But if that guy's in and he's on the chip and you got 7 seconds and you want to bang the button, I posted the video. Tim and I posted the video of Kai's explanation of what the staging duel, and she was banging the Musi or whatever he called it, and she did. She got in there and purged it and banged it through the motor a couple of times,
Yeah.
and he's over there trying to build his boost, and fair game, man.
Yeah,
Y'all make way more horsepower than nitrous cars. The rules have been cited to where the turbo cars are all the playing field's somewhat level.
yeah.
If everything's being equal, there's no rules in saying that she had to stage first or he had to stage.
No.
Anyway, so I just think it's bullshit. It's another thing for people to argue about on social media. Is all it
Oh,
is.
for sure.
And that's another thing, man. Don't get caught up in you got to discipline yourself on how much time you are spent on that Facebook, because
Yeah.
Facebook is the devil.
Which worked first.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook, but hey, the addiction to Facebook is what's really bad, and the fact that people can say whatever the fuck they want,
and then
And-
it's out there.
and without any real repercussions. And when you limit the characters, sometimes that helps. But Twitter's gotten ridiculous.
Twitter's
man.
bad. Twitter's very. It's crazy.
I don't even read the comments. I just go there for kind of news. You'll find out shit that's going on in the world before the news will have it on TV and I don't listen to radio much, but if you check it a little every now and then just to kind of see what the hell's going on in the rest of the world. But getting, the drag race community is pretty much centered on Facebook right now.
Facebook, yeah.
But I think
Yes, sir.
that's going to change. And I don't know where it's going to go. man.
Everything's been going towards Twitter.
Well,
Twitter or Instagram.
the comedians and famous people have been on the Twitter, and
Yeah.
they're getting tired
Yes,
of
sir.
it, and the censorship shit, and the censorship that's going on with all the social media accounts. I think that eventually some drag race, some people are going to get hit by proxy with this stuff,
They're gonna actually make a drag race.
And no, I think what we're gonna do is eventually we're gonna go to Jordan Peterson's new platform, which is based on a Patreon style platform where you can have people donate to your your deal, and the only way they're gonna remove somebody from that platform is if they have a United States court order, and another thing they're gonna do is they're gonna have a minimum character count. So you can't just get on. It has to be a poignant thought. It can't just be
full blast.
You're a piece of shit racist. You know?
Yeah.
Screw this guy,
Yes,
and then disappear, and then it starts the War of the Worlds on, you know. So the to actually think you've got to put a minimum of 50 characters to make a comment is a brilliant idea. I don't know if 50 is the right number yet. They're still in beta testing, but it's going to be out soon, and it's going to be invite only soon. So Sargon of Akkad is going to be on it, who got deplatformed in Britain. Is out of Britain, who's a outspoken guy, and you know, Alex Jones with InfoWars is going to be on it, and Steven Crowder, and maybe even Joe Rogan, and a lot of these people that a lot of the people that are getting deplatformed and losing their way to make money because they're right-leaning or whatever, or they're conservative. And I think that the platform, to be in early on a platform like that where you can still get organic growth like Facebook used to have,
Yes, sir.
is the way to go. And YouTube scares me. We're going to do stuff on YouTube also, but man, you got to have a presence on all of them if you can.
Yes, sir.
You know, and the thing that racers are going to have to, they're going to start getting hit with some of these in their videos and their stuff on Facebook because they do align with the right, and it's going to hit them by proxy and censorship and some of the stuff that's said on Facebook and social media. And so I think that because we're seeing it with other content creators, and as far as even history channels have gotten deplatformed and lost their monetization in this ad apocalypse thing. And it's with the Vox News thing with Steven Crowder, which if you're not in that, you don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a lot going on with social media and censorship right now, and it's going to affect everybody. And it's starting to affect people outside the political realm.
Yeah.
And so when it starts affecting people out, it can affect this show and others. So I think that I heard some interview with Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson about their new platform. And they talked about it, and what he was saying about it was pretty cool. So,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
it's almost 10 o'clock. You got a long drive.
Yes, sir.
You've done a great job. Were you nervous?
No. No, sir.
Man, this is easier than driving a car. But what's funny is guys that have done well racing, some of them say it's more nerve-wracking being on a show. Like Billy, not Billy Raines, Billy Smith runs Limited 275, and he was nervous as hell waiting to come on. And but hey, next week we'll figure out how to show more TikTok. Maybe I got to get the app on my thing, but I wanted it to blow up big, and it was looking like
Yes, sir.
But we'll review some of those videos next time. But thanks for tuning in to the Thunder Road Show. So big shout out to Lizzie for them winning. And there was something else Drag Race World related that I needed to say, and I didn't put it on my notes. No. But Rocky Mountain Race Week's going on. Cool video on YouTube with Cletus McFarland.
Yep.
So they're documenting the whole trip, and they're on the drive from Pueblo to Denver to Bandimere Speedway. And 1320 Video was next to him in the Suburban, and they got a picture of the co-rider in the guy was riding with Cletus in Leroy. He's outside of the car, the cage, standing up when they're going down the freeway with
Yes,
the
sir.
U-Haul trailer behind him. They caught a picture of a bald eagle right behind him, like almost head level. No joke, coolest picture I've ever seen, because they're all about bald eagles.
Bald eagles.
Yeah, well, they didn't realize that the bald eagle was there till they went looking at the pictures afterwards in the computer. the guy with taking the picture didn't see the bald eagle until it was like a ghost bald eagle. That was
Ghost
some
bald
spooky
eagle.
shit. But yeah, so go check out on YouTube Cletus McFarland because a good friend Matthew Frost is running that Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Yeah.
There's some amazing footage of them going over the mountains and stuff, and all the people that are doing that event right now, and it's happening this week. So go check out Cletus McFarland. 2 good videos. Oh, they went at 8. First pass on Leroy went at 8:72, and then no, that's what Ruby went faster. He went at 8:80, turned down, like 10 pounds of boost, 11
Really?
pounds of boost, just to make a
Yeah.
good hit.
Yeah.
And then they went. Leroy went at 8:72, so they put more boost into
Yeah.
Leroy.
Yep.
Ruby went to 8:72. Ruby's running the 850 index, and Leroy's running the stick shift class, and they're number
Yeah.
1 in the stick shift class right now.
That,
So
that car is ranked.
it is, and I
Rank.
tell you what, they both cars are cool, and they're doing Rocky
Yeah.
Mountain Race Week with them, and that's
Yeah.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
So anyway, we will be back next Monday night. Thanks y'all for tuning in, and check out Street Outlaws if you haven't seen it. Texas versus the 405, I think,
Yeah.
tonight. So if you're watching it now, then watch this later or something. Anyway, so thanks for coming out, Bobby. You did a great job, and
Yes,
Steve,
sir.
good job to you. And we'll be back next Monday with air conditioning.